My people, there is finally an update to this story. The police investigative team working on this case have succeeded in obtaining the identity of the young lady who was found naked, drowned and dead in a Nissan Jeep with her married lover. You won't believe who and how young she was. For some of us who did not watch the previous video and couldn't tell what is happening here, this is about the mysterious death of a businessman in Kenya, Mr. Tirus Maina. This man left his wife and children for work on Monday last week, and later in the day when his wife Sarah called him to know when he'll be back home that evening, this man told his wife that he won't be coming home early because he'll be attending a business meeting after close of work. When it was time for his wife to prepare their dinner, she called him again to ask for his preferred meal so that she can cook and keep it ready for him when he comes back home. But he did not pick her call. According to her, she called him several times and none was picked. She did not hear from her husband all through that night. Meanwhile, the next day, divers were busy rescuing two people whose car plunged into an unfenced dam in Juja, Kambu County. When the car was pulled out of the dam in the presence of policemen, two naked bodies were discovered inside the car, the body of a man and that of a woman. On searching the car, the police were able to identify the man, but were not able to identify the lady that was with him. Eyewitnesses said the man and the woman were enjoying themselves in the car before it plunged into the river. The police took the bodies to the mortuary and then tried contacting the relatives or friends of the dead man identified as Mr. Tirus Maina. Hours later, Mr. Tirus' wife had a visitor. A friend of hers came knocking and told her to get ready and follow her to the police station, that something bad happened to her husband. On getting to the police station, this lady, Mrs. Sarah, was able to identify her husband, but couldn't tell who the other lady was. According to her, the other lady could be one of her husband's friends. She said her husband had a lot of friends due to the nature of his business. As at last week, the police were still searching for the identity of the young lady that was found dead together with the body of Mr. Tirus. And they assured everyone involved that a thorough investigation will be carried out to find out if this is a premeditated murder or an accident. So, the shameful bodies of the two lovers were left in the mortuary while the living go home to mourn their deaths. So my people, today, a week after this tragic incident, there is an update. Some people have come to identify the body of the lady that was with late Mr. Tirus Maina on that fateful day. It was said that the family members of this young lady showed up at the police station few hours after the grieving wife of late Mr. Tirus asked the public for any lead that might help them identify the woman and find her kin. According to her, she said, "We have not been able to identify the family of the young lady who drowned together with my husband in Juja on Tuesday because when she was retrieved from the dam, she had no identification documents. I have no problem getting to know who her family is or who can help us get to know them so that they can also have closure." When her family members showed up at the police station, they were taken to the city mortuary where her body was identified as Frida Warau Kamuyu, a 22-year-old lady who hailed from Matioya, Moran County. It was after then that the police revealed that her autopsy showed she died of drowning and that she had bruises on her left arm. Now guys, the police working on this case said they are still trying to determine the circumstances under which the vehicle plunged into the dam. Eyewitnesses keep saying that it slowly moved towards the dam before plunging inside, leading to their deaths. Meanwhile, even though most people on the internet are not sympathizing with the family members of this young lady because all evidence points to the fact that this lady must have been this married man's side chick or lover, it did not stop her loved ones from mourning her. Of course, it is heartbreaking to lose a loved one at such a young age under such a mysterious and shameful circumstance. The police investigative team said they are still investigating, but the people on social media platforms are of different opinions. Some are hailing the god of cheated wives, saying the prayers of the legal wife of Mr. Tirus has been answered. Some are of the opinion that what happened to the 22-year-old young lady served her right, that this should serve as a lesson to cheating husbands and young girls willing to date married men because of their money. While on the other hand, few people are of the opinion that no one should conclude that they were lovers because it has not been proven so, that just because their bodies were found together should not make us conclude that they were lovers. Now guys, let's shift our emotions and sentiments aside and look at this case objectively. Could it be, is it possible that these two were not actually lovers, but maybe business partners? Or they met to discuss a business proposal? Or he was giving her a lift? Or they were even together for something very innocent? It could be possible, but if it were, the question again here is, why were they not in a restaurant or in an open space or even in an office? Why were they in the secluded part of the city where crimes happen, where men come to secretly scratch their shameful sexual urges and desires and fantasies? Why come to a place where you know is not safe, but only good at ignoring, normalizing, and hiding your shameful acts? The fact that Mr. Tirus, a married man with children, parked his car at such a vicinity with a very young and beautiful lady is as incriminating as finding a married man in a brothel with a young lady claiming they were discussing business. People in the internet said it is possible this could be a premeditated murder. Maybe someone was paid to follow this man, monitor his movement, and catch him at his point of weakness, and then eliminate him. And unfortunately, let Mr. Tirus presented before his murderer a wonderful and perfect opportunity on a platter of gold. It could be that someone or some people pushed this car from the back and the tires rolled off the edge of the dry land and plunged directly into the dam. The autopsy carried out on their bodies has ruled out the possibility of them being poisoned before driving to the edge of that dam. Some said they were drinking and making merry in the car, and that the man was drunk, and that in his state of inebriation, he drove backwards instead of driving forward. Now guys, reading that their body were discovered naked and dead, does it mean the man did not put on his clothes before trying to drive away? Does it mean he is that reckless and careless about his safety that he drank so much, knowing fully well he's the only one that will drive himself home? My people, evidence is gathered and not adding up, but the police are still working on it. Investigation is still going on. Let's hope they get to the end of this so that their loved ones will have closure. Although from what I'm seeing, I suspect the late Mr. Tirus' wife might want this case closed as soon as possible. But if this is a case of premeditated murder, I will be glad to hear that the murderer is caught and justice is served. What this man and this young lady did might be morally wrong, but that does not mean they deserve to be murdered. My people, what do you think about this new development and the questions bugging everybody's mind? Let me hear what you think in the comment section. Please, if you like this video, like and hit that subscribe button. Press the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime I post a new video. Thanks once again for watching, guys. Do have a lovely day. Bye-bye.